Hey everybody, Spartan Overdrive here. Welcome back to another episode of Minecraft Upgrade. Something that's turned into a little bit of a single player server, I guess you could call it. What does that mean exactly? Well, you're about to find out, because today we're going to do things a little bit differently. We're going to meet up with my buddy NoDakSmack in a completely different world where we're going to do our builds. And then later at the end of the episode, we're going to come back and place them somewhere in this world. So stay tuned, we're going to chill out and relax with NoDakSmack.
I remember Spartan Overdrive, and he came to me last week with a bit of a build battle type game. What was your idea?
So on my channel, I like to kind of provide my builds to people and let them put them in their world to kind of modify and make their own. And I get a lot of inspiration from other people's builds, and I thought it would be cool to kind of do that with you. You build something, I build something, we kind of swap and give each other's builds kind of our own take. Kind of the idea that there isn't any one good way to do something, but maybe a few different ways to suit your personal preference.
Right, and especially when you get into something, just your final product kind of leads toward one way when you're doing it in your own style, but you can take it in a different direction. That's kind of what we're showing, right?
Yeah, and I always enjoy challenging myself by trying to use new blocks or new scenarios or whatever. And I think we're both doing that today because I think neither one of us have a lot of experience with building in the desert, right?
No. And that's our theme this time is using desert. And I think we're both using sandstone, right?
I think we are. I haven't decided yet because it'll come to me.
Okay, but probably neutral tones and whatnot.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to get into it. I do have a rough idea of what I want. And I'm actually going to pull out some wool and make a frame of what I'm doing. So just for scale, I am starting with like 5 by 7 or something like that.
Sounds pretty good. I am,
and maybe with a side section, so a little bit bigger than that.
We might be building the same thing. It's very possible.
Well, maybe we'll get our point across before we actually then swap stuff. We'll find out that we have like this.
I tell you what,
that awkward would be if we had the same build and we're trying to prove that there's more than one way to build.
I think it would be kind of awesome, actually. This might be a good example of why you should plan, because I'm not planning and you are.
Right. I like to have an idea of, and I've talked about this a lot in my last build, where I'll have an idea of like just one thing that I want and I'll force everything else to work around it, and it usually works out for me.
You know what's funny? I'm actually a planner in real life. I'm very much
I'm not
a perfectionist. We did this personality test the other day, and I was very high on the what's it called? The perfect. I don't remember the other word. I just remember perfect because I thought that was nice.
Perfect. I'm perfect. Stop right there.
That's what I say. Yeah, exactly. Perfect melancholy. That's what I am. And yeah, so apparently, like I truly am a perfectionist, and I try not to be so bad because it does have some downsides to it big time. Mm-hmm. And so it's funny how in game I'm so just like there's just no plan. I just kind of go with it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's kind of why I've transitioned from going from because when I started playing this game, I was really more into playing with or designing stuff that was real modern and real square and straight.
I've never done modern. Yeah, I don't see myself like ever doing modern.
I watched Corrales back when he was doing that, the building
stuff. Shows off some beautiful things.
Yeah, he really. I thought that was pretty. That was what Minecraft was to me. I was like, well, this is all square, straight lines. That's what it's supposed to be, right? But apparently, you can do some cool stuff that's kind of organic. And since then, I've learned like I prefer that. It's more of a challenge, and it looks prettier once you get it done, in my opinion.
To be fair, I don't know when you started playing, but when I started playing, there weren't upside down stairs and like walls and stuff like that. Adds a ton of depth. like just throw in a few stairs into your design, and
oh man, no doubt,
it's completely different.
I'm gonna share with you a secret that no one knows yet on my channel. I have tried so many times in the past to actually start making YouTube videos, and I started with and Minecraft is what kind of inspired me, and I actually made a tutorial on houses, and it was just a square box, and I remember specifically trying to teach people how to design a house without having the roof part of the house, how to make it look good, and it was real difficult because we didn't have the upside down textures.
Yeah. We didn't even have. I remember there wasn't even. You could only place slabs on the bottom half, couldn't you?
Yeah, I think that might have. Yeah, no, that might have been during that time. When I've tried to justify my love for this game to people, I will mention Redstone because I think it's a great educational tool, and I think it's really smart. Like, I mean, you can do some really smart stuff. Like, people build computers and all kinds of stuff. And
yeah, the weird thing is, it's the kind of thing that appeals to me. Like, I like that kind of like, it's kind of like a puzzle, right? Like, you gotta figure out, like, different things do different things, and you gotta try. That kind of stuff appeals to me. I don't know. I learn a T flip-flop or something, and then I forget about it.
Yeah. I'm the same way. Like, I use that as my example for why I love this game, and then I don't even do it. Like, I don't know what. Like, I guess my design side outperforms that side. I'm not sure.
By the way, how do you start out a building like this? Like, I put down a frame, and then I put down a very rough box of basically sandstone. Do you start like that?
I start out with I don't know how much of this will make it into the video, but every build is different.
Yeah.
Some builds I start with the foundation because I know the general shape that I want. This one I had no clue, so I literally just made a box, and now I'm like, okay, that might make a neat shape. Let's see what happens if I pull the wall out to that. Like, I have no vision for this at all. This is going to be an easy one to improve for you, I think.
Oh boy. Like, I used to be kind of like, I'd like make a wall, like a really fancy wall, and I'd be like, all right, this is gonna make good building, and I'd start like going from there. But there's like no planning in it, and lately I've just been focusing a lot more on the planning side of stuff and how stuff is gonna have to work together in the grand scheme of things in like a town.
Right.
So it's more tedious, kind of, but I think in the end it's better.
For my other videos, I typically, before I start the video, I definitely have an idea of what I'm going to do. And I would have liked to today, but man, I could not think of anything. I really couldn't think of anything. And in the past, typically, when I can't think of something and I kind of wing it, somehow, some way, some of my best builds have turned out like that. I don't know how. So I'm really hoping that helps me out today.
I don't know if you've ever seen it, but I have a palace that is. I have a few videos of it. I built what is built. It's not completed in on System Z's creative server.
Oh, right.
And it's huge. And it literally started with me making a doorway. And then another builder who's really good is like, hey, you want to make something of this? And it's enormous. Like, if you have to have your render distance to like 10 to see all of it.
Wow, definitely.
So now I've got this build here, and it's like super plain Jane.
Yeah, I was gonna say mine is turning out to be. I've just decided to kind of fill it in, and it's just sandstone. So
that's another thing that I've learned, though. A lot of times, really good builds start out hideous. That's probably what's throwing me off, the fact that I have all sandstone right now, and I haven't mixed in anything else.
I like the texture, and I've never done it with this. I don't know. Right now I'm trying this. Here's what I don't. We were talking a minute ago about different textures and what we like and don't like about the game.
Yeah.
Obviously, we love the game, but no one's ever going to be 100% happy. I understand
Speak
that.
for yourself.
I'm definitely not 100% happy. Like the smooth sandstone that I'm working with right now. That line across the top ruins it for me. I hate actually all the sandstone blocks. I can't. That line that goes across the top creates this horizontal. It kills me, man. I'm like, what are you thinking? Like, why? It looks okay as a decorative block, but when you're trying to build a whole house out of it, like when you're trying to build, like I'm trying to build a whole structure out of it, like it looks great as a railing or like you know, if you're going to have one horizontal stripe of it, but when you're trying to build like a solid surface with it, can't stand it.
I might try going crazy with a bright color.
I really want to use acacia wood in this so bad. Like,
I always want to use acacia wood in everything, and then I'm like, this is a stupid block. Do you ever try something and you're like, I'm not sure if I hate this or love it?
I'm doing that right now. I've tried so many blocks just
are
now.
like dirty enough to almost work.
Oh, good call.
But at the same time, I'm not sure.
I think I might go with this.
Better not be bone blocks.
Bone blocks it is.
You had something to say when I mentioned nether brick and red sandstone.
Okay, I'm going to say this. Possibly by the time this video comes out, it will probably be my previous video. I have learned to appreciate nether brick a little bit more. But it has its application, but it's not a common one. It's not for me.
No.
So nether brick is one of those things that I appreciate because I feel like it does have its use. It may not be for me, but that's okay. Like and that's where I enjoy trying to find a use for it. Like I will
no diorite.
Well, yeah. See, yeah, exactly. So that's what bugs me is that particular. Was that 1.8 where diorite and granite and all that stuff came out?
Diorite.
Yeah, that was the worst.
Think so.
Oh my goodness, that was a great. I think that was a huge, really great update, if I remember correctly. But the blocks were just horrible. There were no slabs or stair variants. There were no. God, how do they make these decisions? Man, it kills me. Yeah, it bugs me so much. You know, I don't think so. I think that was before them, wasn't it?
Was 1.9 the last Mojang or last notch update?
I think 1.8 was, and it took forever for 1.9 because of Microsoft.
That's right. That's right.
That thing doesn't bother me as bad as most because I guess I'm very understanding. Like I realize that I'm not a programmer, and so I think that they really are doing like. You can see, you know, they're a business. They bought this. They spent $2 billion on this franchise. You know, like they've got to make some money off of it. And right now, the money is in mobile, and that's what they're developing. And they haven't been developing. So it's not like they haven't been doing anything. They've been doing a lot.
Players.
Yeah, they've been going to town on that. And now they're finally starting to get everything synced up. And I think all the systems are going to work together and. Like, it's going to be a good thing once they get it all lined out, but I think it just takes some time to...
I'm just waiting for a builder's update.
Yeah, me too. I agree. Yeah. It's time for one for sure.
I actually like what I've come up with here.
Mine's coming together slowly. And the funny thing is, I'm using a bunch of stuff that I don't like. Like, we were talking a minute ago about blocks that we do and don't like, and typically I don't like these blocks, but they're. But I do this. I really enjoy trying to use something that I don't like.
Oh man, I see something that I don't like.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I saw someone post on, I think it was Detailcraft, a desert theme with purple blocks, and it looked really good. But now I place it, and I'm like, no, that's still a awful color.
I can't imagine. Color. I think purple. Here's what I think about. I actually have an idea. I'm not going to say what it is yet, but I have an idea that I'm excited about with purple blocks, and it's the only thing I can think of that would make those look good. I think those require a fantasy build.
Oh yeah, you'd have to be out there. Meanwhile, mine is at that point where I'm like, I could be done, but it needs that extra step, and I'm not sure what that extra step is.
I'm almost to my detailing stage. I'm just trying to figure out how to do this roof here. Now, the idea here is that I'm going to build this exterior and you're going to do the interior, right?
No.
I don't think that's uncommon, is it? I think a lot of people don't like interiors.
It adds so much, but it's just...
It really does.
Like, a lot of the blocks are hard to get. That's one thing for me in survival. I spent literally hours getting bookshelves.
Uh-huh.
And just like, I placed them down. I ran out. I was like, this sucks. I hate these things. Older blocks kind of get a pass for me, like as ugly blocks. Like, okay, these are just part of the game, whatever. But then they go out of their way to
Yes,
add something like granite, and I'm like,
I know.
you had business meetings about this thing, and
And this got
on a
passed somehow.
complete game. The game is complete, and you thought, what could we add to make this game better? And this is what you thought of. I'm harsh.
No, I agree, man. Granite in real life is gorgeous. I mean, people pay big bucks for it, and then nobody wants it in the game. Like, what you know,
Mhm.
I want to harp on the design of this game, but I'm like, it's probably someone's job. You know, like I don't know, like they're probably a nice person, and I don't want to be the guy that's just
Probably they just aren't very good with
publicly.
colors.
Sometimes I feel like there's no right answer. Like no matter what I do, I'm not happy with it. This is what takes me so long. It's just the back and forth, back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
I spend way too much time just trying to figure out like one little detail that's probably not that big a deal, but it's gonna kill me until I figure it out. See, this doesn't look right now.
When in doubt, use trapdoors. I love the new trapdoors, by the way. That is probably the best building change that we've gotten in
I couldn't agree
2
more.
years.
Could not agree more.
Oh, please. Fix orange carpet. I want to use it, but then it's like sherbet.
Yeah, my original idea was to use a lot of orange in this build because I do like the idea. I I built something way back when that had a lot of orange in it and it looked sharp. I never see anyone use that and it makes me a little insecure that maybe it's just a bad design choice because I'm the only one that I've seen that out of all the respected builders I watch at least.
I don't mind branching out. Like something that you've probably seen me do a ton is put leaves in the ground, like in grass.
Right.
And B-Dubs just had a video where he talked about doing that exact same thing. And he was like, I don't like this unless it's covered by a bunch of grass, tall grass and stuff. I was like, well, suit yourself. I use it in packs.
Yeah,
everyone can see mine.
I kind of come and go. Like sometimes I've gotten to where I'm a lot more accepting of like just different builds in general. And like that's kind of the idea behind my series is I'm wanting to try to branch out and just do things differently. Like I'm trying to be happy with the blocks they provided, I guess is what I'm trying to get at. And sometimes easier said than done.
Mine is actually pretty plain Jane. Like
that's fine. You got to give me something.
Like I like it. This is the kind of thing that I wish that they would put in villages.
Yeah, instead of the plain stuff they have.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's really important to have things that don't take away from your focal point, having like a common house not be the center of attention. So it's also good on that front. Like if I'm in a town, I try to make sure that there are certain focal points. So in my farming town, there's the Farmers Guild,
right.
There's the windmill, and then I try to make sure that a common average boring house isn't going to be a focal point. I don't want that to be like the most interesting thing in the area.
Yeah, there's definitely a level of detail in provided just by quantity, which is strange because typically you would think, you know, quality over quantity kind of thing. Like a focal point is called a focal point for a reason. Like it's the focal point. It's not one of many, you know, like you want to have just one or two or whatever.
I just like focused a ton on recently, like immersion. Like I try to imagine if somebody were in survival mode, walking through this town for the first time, what would they see? What's the first thing that they see? What would catch their eye? And then I want them to feel immersed inside of a town while they see that there's an interesting thing off in the distance that they can work their way towards.
Right. It really helps to have lore behind it. I'm going to leave you a few things to do. Probably a lot of things. Because...
Do you have much around your house? Like anything
I'm not
Do you
even
have
finished
just a
my
house, or do you have any
honestly.
exterior?
I wanted to put a little bit of exterior, but I haven't yet. I've not even finished my house.
I
I'm
have a
very
little bit of
unhappy
one.
with it, just to be honest. And this is a bad way to introduce myself to your audience.
So they'll see the beautiful remake that you do of mine.
Oh man, that puts a lot of pressure on me. I don't know. There's a few things I want to do, but because I didn't plan out my build, I can't do them. You know, like they just don't fit. I want to do some rafters and stuff that just aren't going to happen now. The overall shape I'm happy with, but there's a few things that I really don't like. I'm going to tell you right now, the thing that's bugging me, I mentioned how I have you'll see it in a minute, but I think I've decided how I'm going to leave it. I've got logs on the corners, but I space them out. I don't know where I learned this, but I think it looks better when I don't like textures that touch, like that have the same.
Oh yeah,
depth.
like putting a log in the middle of or on the corner of a box without bringing it out.
Exactly, like bring the log out to like the outside corner, not the inside corner, if that makes sense. And so I have that going on in this build. It adds some depth. I like it for the most part, but I don't know how to cap them off. It looks
it almost gets in the way sometimes. I experience that same thing.
The idea is good, but I've got a few of them that they need capped off somehow, and I'm not sure how to do it. Like even just putting a block of wood on there, I don't think would do it. And I've kind of mixed woods here that I don't typically do, and I'm not loving that either. You know what? I am just going to cap them off with a piece of wood.
I could do a desert town in this style. I feel like I'm one block away from having a breakthrough.
I was going to ask if you were getting close. Are you doing exterior?
Exterior?
Uh-huh.
Like environment type stuff?
Yes.
Yeah, I got that done.
Oh no.
I freaking love that stuff.
I am really
You don't have to worry about it.
I'm just now starting on that.
I just feel like environment can like bring the best out of the ugliest.
Dude, I agree. I need it bad right now. You know, you can shift click like in creative. You can your path block. You can use. You can actually lay down a path block as is. You don't need the shovel.
Yep. I figured that out.
Yeah, but here's the deal: the shovel is so fun. Like it's my favorite thing to do. I think.
I like the sound.
Oh yeah, I don't know what it is. I really like it, and so I actually. I'm sitting here laying down grass just so I can shovel it. I'm doing some things I don't typically do because I'm trying to stretch my.
I don't typically do any of this.
Yeah,
this is some weird stuff.
Loving it. I don't hate it. It's coming together, but it definitely needs some work.
You'll like my interior edition. It's a nice reference. A reference to you.
Oh no.
Yeah, mine's mostly done. I'm just looking at like here and there stuff. I've spent a lot of time looking at the menu. Just like trying to remind myself what's.
Well, if you really like exteriors, I could just leave that to you.
I feel like it's one of the easiest things that you can do that adds the most.
Yeah, I like it. That's one of the reasons I started doing the nature park thing. That one episode, I don't know if you saw it, the one where I started the park. I was so uninspired because I'd built like 3 or 4 houses, and that's basically all I was doing, building houses. And I started out just finding stuff on Google and trying to replicate it and then upgrade it or whatever. And I enjoy that. I need to get back to that actually. But at the time I was so uninspired, and I was like, well, there's this little creek here that's, you know how like the creeks will dry up and there's no water in them for a little bit. And I didn't like that in this one spot. I wanted it to have, so I was like, I want to work on that for a little bit. And that got me inspired to do this whole other thing that I've been working on ever since then, pretty much. So, and it's all been pretty much exterior related. I'm thinking I'm probably not going to have anything to do on yours, so it should be pretty easy for me.
No, you don't think of it as adding something. Think of it as changing something, like completely remove something.
No, I'm thinking of it as correcting your wrongdoings. Is what I'm thinking of.
Okay, I've got some ugly colors in here.
No,
I've got some orange in here that could probably be like taken out completely.
Dude, I'm actually excited
taken in a completely different direction.
I'm excited about the orange. I really wanted to use it on mine. I just didn't. It didn't happen for me.
Maybe I'll force orange into yours.
Okay, I think I could be here all day just doing touch-up stuff. So, I don't have an exterior, and honestly, my build in general is kind of poop. But oh, it's not poop. It's okay, but it's not. It's not my standard. But yeah, okay. So the whole point of this, I guess, is to be able to give you something that you can work with. So, I think this is a good base level to start working on this. To be honest with you.
Okay, so we have each other's files, and now we're going to make modifications. We haven't seen them yet. Are you ready to click on it?
Let's see the reveal. Loading world, building terrain.
Oh, man. See,
I like. Goodness.
Oh. I like this. You went like a completely different direction than you made it sound like you're going to.
Yeah, I did, didn't I? It just didn't come to me.
I see what you're saying about the logs.
Yeah, about the tops being capped off or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you kept commenting about orange, and the way you were commenting, I thought you weren't going to use it. I'm glad you did, because I really wanted to. I like it. So what are we going to... You know what? I had bushes, and I took them out, because I wasn't sure if I should have them or not, but I like them.
Did you see the interior?
Oh, no. I forgot about that. Let's see. Dude, that's awesome.
I picked a painting out, and that was the first thing that came up. I was like, cool.
That's funny. Was that my first? That was one of my first videos, I think, on my channel. That's cool.
Yep.
That's cool, man. Thanks. I didn't know what you were talking about when you said that. That's awesome. I like your double entrance. I like that you've got the L shape going on here, and you had the same idea as me, as by putting it up top. That's an interesting idea, to put the signs behind the banners like that. It's kind of like they're being held, well, without the swaying, it looks like they're kind of being held down. You had the same idea with the birch. I like that.
I did try other woods. I did too. Clay. I tried red sandstone, and it was just like too out there.
Yeah.
I tried bone, and it just looked... See, the bone looks closer to this smooth sandstone. All right, so I'm trying to get ideas here.
I think I have an idea of what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this orange to the next level, man.
I was like, take it out and make something new of it. And you're like, I'm going to take it further.
Dude, we are going all out on the orange.
Yeah, you had endstone brick it.
I'm blaming it on you if nobody likes it, because I didn't put it in there originally. Yeah, no, it's funny because like I wanted to do it so bad, and now that you've done it, it's like permission to just go to town on it. So are you adding on, or are you just changing existing structure?
I'm changing. I'm focusing on these pillars, and I tried something and I already didn't like it.
Dude, I could not find a good fix for it, man. I just ooh, do I like that?
You know what? I think I do have a fix actually. I like the shade. I don't know what you'd call this with the signs. It'd give you shade.
That's what I was talking about, trying to figure out. I call it a pergola. I don't know if that's...
I have no idea what that is.
It's the thing you're looking at.
Okay.
I'm probably totally wrong, but that's what I've been calling it anyway. I think people are going to love or hate this. And when I say people, I'm talking about myself, but also other people.
You love or hate it?
Yeah, I'm not sure yet either. It's one of those things where I like the concept. You know what I like here that I was wanting to do to mine and actually kind of forgot? You put a little bit of an archway in yours. And
under the tower?
Yeah, I like that. I am creating an issue where I have something that I hate with the whole textures meeting up. I'm going to have to figure out a way around that. I'm not sure if I'm going to find a good way without rebuilding some stuff. You know, I can honestly say that, we were originally talking about like personalizing the builds.
Uh-huh.
And since this is all new to me, like, I don't know if it's it's not necessarily personalized. I'm just trying to change it.
Because you don't have your own style.
Yeah, I've not really developed my own desert style yet. I think I've determined like there is nothing new in the game of Minecraft. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I try to be as original as I can, and guaranteed
there's some other dude that's done
somebody's already done it. Yeah, so I don't even. I'm just like, I'm just gonna do what I like, and if someone's done it, that's fine.
To be fair, though, you have to give yourself credit. If you've given any thought into building, into going into like the stupid stuff that I think about with like focus points and all this stuff, you're already ahead of 99% of everyone that's ever downloaded Minecraft. That's building dirt boxes.
Yeah, some of that's just, some people have design in them and some people don't, you know. Yeah, your tower's cool. That's what I was trying to go with on mine, except I guess a little more, like yours is a legit tower, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Mine's just kind of a way to get up to the rooftop for someone to sunbathe or whatever. I like your stairwell on the outside of the building.
That's something I throw on a lot of stuff now.
I like that a lot.
Kind of, it helps if you have an ugly side of the building.
Mm-hmm.
I like that you put buttons only on the sides of the pillars that had a log coming from it. Because at first I was like, you're missing a button. But I was like, oh wait, there's no pillar there.
I like to try. I'm not always good at it, but I like trying to think of something in a real world scenario. And in my mind, with the button situation, those buttons are essentially some sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Like it's called a mortar tendon joint, and I don't know. It's like where you carve the log a certain way so that it sticks through the other side and it holds it's its own nail kind of thing, you know. That was kind of my idea with that. I
added one thing.
I don't know if you've done anything about it, but the back of that thing was pretty boring.
I did do something. I like that you added dead bushes.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I was going to add actual bushes, and then I was like, well, I don't know if that works or not. I think it would have been fine, honestly, but I know what I'm going to do. Oh, man.
I've done a lot of subtle stuff. Like, it's definitely the same build.
Mm-hmm.
I think you'll notice it, obviously, but I think if somebody who didn't build it saw it, they probably won't see everything. One of your pillars on a wall is one log taller than the other.
Oh, you know what? I went through and deleted a little bit of something like that, and I must have missed one because I raised those log. Man, my building method on this was atrocious. Like, I discourage anyone from following what I just did as an example. I didn't lay out. I literally, like, when you see the footage, it's it's ridiculous. Like, I just randomly place stuff. It was horrible.
All right, we both have our own files back. Ready to see what I did to yours and what you did to mine?
Let's take a look. I'm sure mine is a little less poop now.
Oh, you added a lot more.
Well, I didn't add much. I just changed.
I meant orange. I trailed out there orange.
Mm-hmm. I told you I went.
I like the blue, absolutely, and it brings out the water.
Yeah, on the flags.
Yeah.
Come out. Oh, good call. Really good call. I really like what you did with the
for what?
With the water over there, and then the arches you put in next to it.
Yeah, that
whole side looks awesome.
Fixed your issue with the pillars being out. I just kind of made that wall two-dimensional.
And you know what's funny is that
give it depth.
I typically like that side-by-side texture is kind of what I was talking about that I didn't like, but it works in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it really does. I like that a lot. Because it's not a whole flat wall. You've still got the dimension in there. So it's that makes the difference. You
didn't ruin my painting.
No way. Why would I do that? Yeah, that's sharp, man. I like the dimensions on the different textures on the roof and stuff. Looks good.
Oh, this arch is a good idea.
Oh, you put carpet on top. I didn't think about that. That's not a bad idea. That arch is what I had to do to keep that from that the textures being side by side, because the I was trying to figure out how not to rebuild that entire tower.
Mm-hmm.
And since I'd made it orange, it butted right up against the other wall.
Well, that works well. That is something that I could definitely see using a lot.
That is called a flying buttress.
Flying buttress.
And I remember it because it's fun to say and it's a silly word.
This would definitely bring basically an entire different theme, having that much red.
Yeah.
It could bring a tone in a completely different direction, which isn't a bad thing. But
I feel, I mean, that. Yeah, I don't know if, I kind of liked it. Like I said, I was just going to go for it and take it to an extreme level or whatever.
No, I like it. It's just like, it was like almost a complete change in theme. All right, so I'd say this was a success.
Yeah, me too.
This would be interesting to do in a bunch of other themes.
Yeah.
Really, as long as we have a theme for it, it'll be a fun game to play.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thanks for doing this with me. I had a good time.
Yep, no problem. And everybody, I'll look forward to doing this in the future. If you have any theme recommendations, let us know. Bye.
All right, take care. Well, that was fun, but wow at the time. Man, guys, let's take a look at this place in our world, because otherwise it really wouldn't be a Minecraft upgrade episode, would it? I've already got it imported, and we're just going to take a quick tour to try to keep this video a little bit shorter. I had to cut out quite a bit of time already, so make sure you go check out NoDak's channel. Tell him hello and see what he left in, because I'm sure he's got some different footage than I do, and hang out with him a little bit. And yeah, I just want to say thanks again to NoDak for doing that with me. It was a lot of fun. And we'll catch you guys in the next episode, where I am hopefully going to start doing a little bit more detailing, since we don't have a lot of time to do any of that this episode. So you guys take care, and as always, keep it creative.